Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. This group presentation FAR570 consists of Part A Operating Segment MFRS 8, Part B Interim Financial Reporting MFRS 134 will be presented by Natrah Ilyani, Munirah binti Hasbi, Nurul Mukshitul and Siti Nur Amalina.
I will continue with Part A, Operating Segment under Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard MFRS 8. MFRS 8 requires companies to disclose financial information about their different business segments. This segment can be based on the company various line of business or geographical areas where it operates. The main objective of this standard is to provide users of financial segment with a clearer and more detailed understanding on how each segment of the company is performing. By doing so, it helps investors, analysts, and other stakeholders to assess the company risk and return in a more transparent and meaningful way. In simple terms, MFRS 8 ensures that the financial statements show how different parts of the company contribute to its overall performance.
For better understanding of how MFRS 8 is applied, I will explain the operating segment disclosed by two Malaysian listed companies, which are Post Malaysia Berhad and 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad. Starting with Post Malaysia Berhad, the company operates under three main business segments. The first one is the postal and courier segment, which involve traditional mail services, parcel delivery, and express courier operation. Next, the logistic and aviation segment covers activities such as freight forwarding, warehousing, and cargo handling. Lastly, we have the other segment, which include digital, retail, and agency services that are offered through post office nationwide. Meanwhile, for 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad, the company has two reportable segments. The first and core segment is the convenience store segment, which represent all 7-Eleven retail outlets throughout Malaysia. Most of the company revenues in this segment comes from the sales of food, beverages, and household items. The second is the other segment, which include investment holding activities and non-core businesses within the group. Income in this segment mainly comes from interest income, dividends, or smaller business venture. Lastly, the company also discloses inter-segment elimination to remove internal transaction between this segment. This ensures that the total revenue reported is accurate and not double counted. The Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard 8 or MFRS 8 operating segment requires companies to disclose information that allow user of financial statement to evaluate the nature and financial impact of their business activities, as well as the economic environment in which they operate. This disclosure helps investors and other stakeholders to better understand how the management views and evaluates the different parts of the business. To demonstrate how MFRS 8 is applied in practice, we have analyzed two listed Malaysian companies, which are Post Malaysia Berhad and 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad. Although both companies operate in different industry, they are still subject to the same disclosure requirement under MFRS 8. Next, I will explain the disclosure requirement under MFRS 8 operating segment using both Post Malaysia Berhad and 7-Eleven Malaysian Holding Berhad as example. Under operating segment, Post Malaysia Berhad reports three main segments, which are postal, aviation, and logistics. Meanwhile, 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad report two segments, namely convenience store and others, which include properties and non-core activities. For the segment structure, Post Malaysia provide multiple integrated services that operate under different economic environments such as mail, parcel, and logistics services. In contrast, 7-Eleven focus on a single major revenue source, which is retail operation through its convenience store across Malaysia. Next is the business activities. For Post Malaysia, the business cover postal, parcel, and logistics services. Its revenue mainly come from e-commerce and transportation-related operation. On the other hand, 7-Eleven business activities are concentrated on retail sales of food, beverages, and household products with income generated from store transaction. Lastly, regarding the economic environment, Post Malaysia operates in various economic settings, and its performance is influenced by fluctuation in fuel prices, transportation costs, and digitalization in logistics. Meanwhile, 7-Eleven operates in a highly competitive retail sector facing digital disruption and changes in consumer behavior. The company's performance is also affected by factors such as location strategy, pricing, and cashless payment system. In summary, both companies meet the disclosure requirement of MFRS 8, but their nature of operation and segment structure differ according to their industries.
Chief of Decision Making, also known as CODM. CODM refers to the individual or group within an organization who is responsible for allocating the resources and assessing the performance of the company's operating segment. This requires companies to disclose the segment information based on the internal reports reviewed by the CODM. The CODM is the top-level executive or committee who makes the key strategic and operational decisions such as deciding where to invest, how to evaluate performance, and how to manage different business segments based on the nature of the business activities.
For the 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad, its segment information is prepared in a manner consistent with the internal reports provided to management as its chief operating decision makers for the purpose of allocating the resources and assessing performance. The CODM is the group senior management team which receive the internal reports and make resource allocation and perform decision. For the Post Malaysia Berhad, it is implied that the Group Chief Executive Officer (GCEO) is the CODM. For example, the 2022 reports corporate government section shows that the management committee is reporting to the Group Chief Executive Officer. For Post Malaysia, the CODM is explicitly the Group Chief Executive Officer supported by the senior management and the management community.
Next, there are two types of segmental reports used in financial reporting. There are business segment report and geographical segment report. A business segment report presents financial information according to the types of products or services a company provides. Each segment represents a different line of business that earns revenue and incurs expenses. For instance, Post Laju Malaysia reports segments such as mail, retail, courier, and international. For mails, introduce selective yearly price hikes for non-regulated services to maintain revenue despite falling mails volume. For retail, introduce post-insure, an online insurance platform to enhance and support existing offline services. For courier, currently delivering top quality service in Malaysia. International, launched Redly Express in July 2023, a cross-border service with minimal asset requirements.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nur Amalina, and today I am going to present to you the second segmental reports that are used in financial reporting, which is geographical segment report. Based on the 2024 annual report, the Post Malaysia International Services handle international mail and also parcel businesses. In the logistics segment, they offer two, which is ocean freight and also road freight, among the other global supply chain services. In the year of 2023 Post Malaysia annual report, the information of the geographical segment report is not presented. Thailand does not contribute to more than 10% of the consolidated revenue and also assets. It is because Post Malaysia overseas operations such as Thailand are very small that they fall below the threshold for reporting a separate geographical segment in detail. In the year of 2024 annual report, there is no updated geographical segment table that breaks out financials by country. So, in conclusion, Post Malaysia International does not represent any of the geographical segment report.
There are two benefits for segmental reporting for financial statement users. The first one is to improve transparency and performance assessment. Segmental reporting allows investors to see how different business divisions contribute to total revenue profit and growth. Users can identify which statements are performing well and which are underperforming, improving decision making for shareholders and analysts.
Benefits is to enhance the understanding of risk and diversification. It helps users access risk exposure by showing how revenues and profits depends on the specific industries, region, or products. By showing this can allow investors to judge how well the company is diversified and how economic changes in one area might affect the overall performance.
This slide, I will show you the interim financial report for Post Malaysia Berhad for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. As you can see here, you can saw the total external revenue, inter-segment revenue, total revenue for reportable segment, and also the reportable segment result before the taxation. The next one is the 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad. This is an unaudited interim financial report for the fourth quarters for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. As you can see here, this is the revenue for the two type of result, convenience stores and
Okay, now we move on to part 3. On this part, I'll be talking about interim financial reporting MFRS 134. First, let's talk about the definition of interim reporting. This is about preparing financial statements for periods shorter than a full year. For example, like quarterly or half-year reports. It allows company to give updates on their performance throughout the year, not just year-end. Next, the minimum content requirements. MFRS 134 tells companies what must be included in these interim reports. Even if the report is condensed, it ensures that key financial information is still clearly presented. Third, consistent measurement. The standard provides guidance on how to recognize and measure items during the interim period. This way, the numbers are consistent with the annual financial statements, which makes them more reliable. And finally, timely and useful information. By following MFRS 134, companies can give investors, creditors, and other users regular updates on performance and financial position. This helps them make better decisions throughout the year. So overall, MFRS 134 ensure that interim reports are clear, consistent, and useful for anyone who relies on them.
So moving on to the next part, I am going to talk about the significant events and transactions that affect an entity's financial position and also the performance for both of the company, which is 7-Eleven Malaysia and also Poslaju Malaysia. Firstly, for 7-Eleven Malaysia, the significant events is that in the major divestment in 2023, 7-Eleven Malaysia has sold its 75% stake in Caring Pharmacy to Big Pharmacy for 675 million. This triggered a divestment gain of 207 million. Meanwhile, in the year 2024, we can see it in the annual report that there is no large divestment gain for the year. The profit is more by operation. So, what affect in the financial report is that the large gain in 2023 from selling Caring Pharmacy significantly boosted 2023 profit. But in 2024, without such a major one-off, underlying business shows more stress. This is likely a major reason for the profit to drop in the year 2024.
For Poslaju Malaysia has undergone significant expansion from 2023 to 2024. In 2023, the company focused on optimizing its mail and parcel network and reported total asset 2.70 million. In 2024, it opened 50 new post shop outlets and achieved a 13% increase in parcel volume. This expansion increases both non-current assets such as outlets and equipment, and current assets as more working capital is required. Liabilities also rise due to leases or borrowings used to finance the new outlets. While the growth may strengthen equity in the long run, the short-term impact is still uncertain because of the company continues to face losses.
Now, we're moving to interim financial reporting period of financial statement. For Post Malaysia Berhad, the current interim financial period ended on 31st March 2025, while the comparative interim period ended on 31st March 2024. This first reporting period covers a duration of 3 months. Meanwhile, for the second quarter, the current interim financial period ended on 30 June 2025, and the comparative interim financial period ended on 30 June 2024. This quarter represents a 6-month cumulative reporting period.
Meanwhile, for the 7-Eleven Malaysia Holding Berhad, the current interim period financial statement started from January to March 2025. For the comparative interim period statement is from January to March 2025. This duration is for 3 months. For the second period is ended on 31st June 2025 for the cumulative interim. For the comparative cumulative is from January to June 2025, covers for 6 months.